Told the audio is low. How about now? Is the audio good? This thing's been such a mess trying to get. The audio is drowning out. Audio? Oh, okay, here. Let's do this. How about now? Is everything good now? You have a voice and music going, your music is prices out of key. Oh, see, I didn't know that. See, so what I'm hearing, it's a little different. So let's just try this. Is everything good now? This has been such a mess trying to get this thing like perfect. And I've been really, really trying to get it done. How about now? Is it good? Music's too loud. I got that. I wonder why it's up so loud. I have people trying to call me. Give me a second, guys. This thing's been like... All right. How about now? is everybody trying to call me? Haas. I know you are. Here, let's. Okay, hold on. That's not right because that was not switched. Okay, how about now? You can't comment on YouTube. Nothing can comment? Oh, God. This live stuff's unreal. All right, how about the audio? Is the audio okay now? Oh my gosh. How about now? Okay. This is ridiculous. I did like 3 dry runs like all week. I don't know why the chat's disabled. Oh, man. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. I just don't understand why. Okay, how about now? Is everything good now? All right, Haas, am I good now? All right. Is the audio good? No? Oh my God, this is ridiculous. All right. I think I hung up on him. All right. Am I good now? Audio's good? No?
It's not loud enough.
This is ridiculous. I just don't know what to do anymore. I've done this thing like 3 times and I just don't understand why it's doing this. Let's try something here. How about now? This is ridiculous. I just don't understand why it's doing this. Okay. How about Carlos? Can you hear me? Something here.
Yeah.
Carlos?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, live stream is so bad. It's so horrible. Carlos, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, no.
Yeah.
Carlos, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear you, Carlos.
Damn. Yeah.
Nothing?
I'm talking.
Do we need to like go back out? Carlos.
I'm talking. Yeah.
Hey, there you are.
Can you hear me good?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude. This is crazy. Don't give me those winky eyes.
No, that's the Marco. That Marco does that. Marco tries to look. This is what Marco does, the film trainer. He looks over at you and then he tries to entice you. He does these little. And that's it, bro. Like game over. That's it. Like you just melt. Like you got no choice. You get Marco-fied.
Marco-fied? That's a first. Okay, so first off, I want to apologize. I ran like 3 or 4 runs this afternoon and everything was working right. So, but you can hear me perfect?
Yeah.
Okay, because I can hear you just fine. Apparently the chat's been disabled.
Well, it's like, when I was looking at it on my end, it was saying that I don't know if this is listed as content for kids, but on content for kids,
and it shouldn't be. I had everything fixed the right way.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. But that's not what you should be apologizing for.
Hey, well, okay, so what should I be apologizing for?
First of all, how are you going to tell me that this is Tinter Tuesdays? We're part of the Bougie Tinter Club, and where's your Starbucks?
I don't have Starbucks. I don't have Starbucks.
I got ready, bro.
See,
See, but no worries though. I got you, fam, because I got you one right here too. Here, take a sip.
That's kind of hard to do between Carlos. All right. First off, if the audio's good, this is. I'm wondering if this is cool. Hey, first off, thanks for coming on tonight. I apologize with this. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see if I can't fix this.
You apologize for the tinterference
Hey,
on
you know
Tinter
what?
Tuesday.
Don't start with me, buddy. Don't start.
Hey, look, check this out.
You're so
That's
crazy, dude.
that's the bougie way of taking some Starbucks.
The bougie. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see. Live chat. Okay, see, live chat should be on. It says anyone. That's so crazy. I don't even know how to go back and change that. But all right, well, you know what? We're just gonna run with it. It is what it is. I'm gonna have to get with Haas and Patrick at the same time. Be like, can we fix this one time so nothing gets messed up ever again? Because I'm tired of trying to fix it 20 million times. But you're here. You can hear me just fine. I can see you.
Screw them. Why do we need to chat? We don't need to chat.
Man, anyways, man, I had this whole like nice intro.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
So this is what we're gonna do. We're just gonna kind of like time out real quick. We're kind of reverse it a little bit. I mean, this is what happens when you do live, right? Things happen, technology. Let's see here.
So you know how like Eric is like Skynet, right? You know, rumor has it that Eric Vash invented the internet. It was called the Tinternet. And anyways, he says that he thinks it's definitely the kids' settings with the app.
And that's so crazy because I went through literally right about 6 o'clock. I sent pictures to Patrick and I was like, this is supposed to be clicked, right? And he's like, yes. And I went in and I absolutely know for a fact I clicked where it said appropriate for anyone or whatever, the non-kid thing. So I don't know why it's doing that, but I don't even know how to go in and change it while we're live. I don't think you can. So I think it's once it's set, it's set. But you know what? We're just going to roll with it. I'll be able to actually save it from here and I'll just re-upload it. Screw it. So
yeah, you know what?
Let's do this. I'm gonna take you off the screen real quick. I'm gonna roll it from the beginning. We're gonna start this all over, and I'm gonna bring you in appropriately, like I normally would on a live show. Is that all right with you?
I mean, yeah. At this point, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, sit back, relax. Let's try something real quick. All right, guys, here we go. Tinter Tuesday. It starts right now. My guest, the Texas Squeegee. Let's start with the intro right now. Let's go. All right, guys, here we are. It is another week. It is Tinter Tuesday. My guest tonight is Carlos, the owner of Texas Tint Masters down in Houston, Texas. If you guys don't know him, well, you probably know him as the Texas Squeegee. He is the founder of Tintertainment, Tinter Battles, all the above. Phenomenal person, absolute business person, and a great friend of mine. So, let's do this. Let's bring him in. Oh my God, the the text messages I'm getting. Let's go ahead and bring Carlos in, and we'll start the show right now. Let's bring him in. I got Carlos right here.
The bougie tinter, the most tintifying bougie tinter ever.
There he is. This is Carlos, the Texas Squeegee, live from Houston, Texas. How are you doing tonight, Carlos? Everything going good on your end?
I am a tintified here on take 2 of the Tinter Tuesday live here at Jason, the man, the myth, the legend, on Maletsky with the glass tinting, film slinging, tinter beating, hell raising, trailblazing, trend setting, viral trending, million viewed watching Texas Squeegee.
There it is. That's the entrance I wanted from you. First off, welcome to the show. Man, there's a lot of things that I would like to talk about, but there's a lot of things I kind of really want to dig in a little bit. I definitely want to talk about where you came from, because you've been tinting for how long now?
I'm going on 18 years. 18 years
18
now.
years.
Yeah.
Okay, so 18 years. You started off at the flea market, is that correct?
Well, I started my independency at the flea market, but I started tinting whenever I was 12. And it was a result of me getting in trouble. So they took the junior squeegee to the back, and I saw a guy doing tint. And you know what fascinated to me was, like, look, I'm an artist. So what fascinated to me was there was this ASMR factor to window tint. And I was like, man, okay, he puts this thing on the glass, it's all bubbly, but then this pattern was just like making it smooth. And then next thing you know, it's a black window. And I was like, that's very interesting. And it got my attention. I've told the story in the past, but I didn't think I was serious. I mean, I'm a 12-year-old kid. I'm like, dude, you're on one thing to the next. So they're like, if you want to learn it, come back tomorrow. So I came back and I just watched. They asked me to come back tomorrow. I came back and I just watched. And so a week later, they're like, I guess he ain't going anywhere. And so they took me down to Solar Guard distribution center, got my first set of tools, and that's where my tintifying career started. But it wasn't something that I wanted to do. Like, I mean, it just fascinated me at the time. Like, it caught my genuine curiosity. I wasn't looking at it as a job. I wasn't looking at it as like, yeah, this is going to be a career path. It was just, hey, man, it's a shiny object, and I just chased after it. And then also the learning automotive is the hardest of film to pick up, in my opinion. And it presented a challenge, and that was the thing. It's just like activated this obsession with mastering this craft. And dude, I still remember the days. I was 12, 13 years old, and my dad was a manager, so we were the first ones there, but we were also the last ones to leave. And I would get scraps off of the trash, and I was just trying to work on my cuts on these little quarter windows. And I mean, I was really taking it because I was obsessed. It wasn't a job. I was obsessed, and I wanted to master this thing. I wanted to get good at it. I wanted to excel in it. So it just pushed me to keep going and keep pushing for it. So, oh,
And look at you now, right?
yeah, yeah.
Let's do this. I mean, you started, and you were at the flea market, and you were actually tinting outside, right? You were
Yeah.
like where the carport part of the flea market. Is that correct?
Yeah. So what happened with the flea market? So that story basically was I was driving one time, and there was this flea market close by to where my mom lived, that's where I was staying at. I had just graduated high school. I was 18, and I was passing by this flea market, and it's like an indoor flea market that had 3-tier garage parking. And so the bottom, when I was driving by it, and I saw these 2 parking spaces, and I was like, I bet you can do something here. And like, yeah, I mean, I bet you I could get some film, and I can probably just slap some tint on there. It was like, kind of partially outdoors, partial indoors. It was under like a carport, basically. And so, I mean, I don't know what it was, dude. I went one week and I didn't do anything. It stayed in my mind, and I was going to go the next week. And there was like moment of, I was going to procrastinate and not do it. And I spoke to someone at the time who was in business, and they were like, look, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Otherwise, don't even think about it. And so I went and did it. I talked to the manager, and I said, hey, I noticed you got a couple parking spots out there. I do window tint. I'd love to set up out there. And he said, no. And I was like, what do you mean, no? And he was like, well, I mean, it's an indoor flea market. All of our vendors are indoors. And I was like, well, I mean, let me go outside. And he was just like, no, we can't do that. And I don't know, I just didn't take no for an answer. I was just like, dude, why don't you just let me set up for a weekend? Fucking like charge me, make some money. Let me set up for a weekend. If it's a total disaster, then just tell me no, and I'll no questions asked. I'll never come back. And he goes, all right, fine. He gave me that opportunity, and then like I came back the next week, dude. I spent $300 in buying films, and it was probably like a 20-inch on 5%, 20, and 35. 36-inch, 5%, 20, and 35. It was like the cheap tint, like basic, cheap, super cheap tint. But $300 I spent my first day to get the film. I made $300 that day. So I basically kind of paid for it in one day. And then I was like, and I went back to the management and I said, hey, could I come back next week? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. Came back the next week. And then the week after that, so the following week, I had no signs. So I bought we had this old dry erase board. There's a picture out there and it says window tint on there. And I put it on top of a speaker box because I had nothing else better. Like there was just nothing, dude, like nothing. I was 18. I don't know what the hell I was doing. And I'm telling you, dude, like I look back and sometimes with some of my brothers and the people that have known me for some time, we laugh at how we operated because it was as bare as it gets. Like, dude, we used to buy we used to take everything down on a notebook because we were at a flea market. So we had a ton of traffic. Everybody wanted to sign up. So we used to take everything down on a piece of notebook. And then in order for me to give out receipts, I would go to Office Depot. I'd get the receipt books. And every time somebody would pull up, hey, I want to get my tint done, give them the prize. They're like, yeah, I want to do it. I was like, okay, well, here, fill out this receipt and then we'll call you. And dude, we would have like 15 receipts lined up. Like no way in hell we were going to get through all that stuff. Like we were operating so old school. And we laugh now because obviously like now we're all tint whiz. And there is no, like, we don't do any paperwork anymore. So I look back at those days and I'm like, wow, man, this thing has come a long way. But it just went from one weekend to the next. And then the next weekend, I got some banners made. The next weekend, I had some shirts made. And then it just started going from there. And like, I didn't take it as a career path. Again, to me, was like, I wanted to do something else. This was just to pay the bills. And yeah, it just started going from there, man.
And so you went from flea market to your first shop, right? And
yeah.
Now you're at your second location, but you're not running anything out of the first location anymore, correct? You're just strictly out of the other one, right?
Yeah, I went so I was on the flea market on the weekends, and then when I went to college to University of Texas, and it just dude, it was not working out for me because what I wanted to do is I wanted to be a musician, but I wanted to be a performer. Like I wanted to perform in orchestras. I wanted to travel the world performing on stage and stuff like that. And I had realized because I had asked my teacher at the time, I was like, when I started going to college over there, they would you had to take all these extra courses like biology, like history, all this extra stuff that to me felt like, why am I doing this? This is a waste of my time. Like time is a finite thing. Why am I wasting my time studying things that pertain nothing to what I want to do? Like I have interests in astronomy, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to go geek out over it if I've got tasks and objectives with something else that I take more serious. So it just like, it was kind of one of those like, what? Like I got to take all these classes. It's like, hey, by the way, you also got to get in a lot of debt. I'm like, what? How much debt we talking? They're like 40 grand. What? And like, yeah, by the way, your starting job is actually 30,000. I'm like, what? 40 grand to go make 30? That doesn't make any sense to me. So
no sense.
And I'm like, I wanted to be a performer. I'm like, are people really like, if I wanted to do that, are people really going to sit there? Like, if I was good enough, like skills, everything was on point. If I did my stuff, I put myself out there. Are people really going to take like dismiss that entire skill set because of a piece of paper? So I asked my professor, I said, dude, do I really need to go to school to do this? And he was like, not really. He's like, your situation is unorthodox because you already have a business. So you're already making your money. You don't need to be a teacher. You can just be a performer if you want to. So I was like, all right, screw it. So then I dropped out. And when I dropped out of college is when I said, hey, this thing with the flea market is the only thing that's been working out. Like, this is the only thing that's been consistent these last like 4 or 5 years. Why don't I just take it full time, go all out? Like, dude, like I told myself coming like that drive from Austin to Houston, I told myself, just give it a shot, go all the way. And I lost the fear of losing everything because I thought in my mind, I'm like, well, I really wanted to be a performer. Let me just fail at this thing so that I can look back and be like, I gave it all. let me fail at this thing so I can move on and do this other thing. And at least I know, like, I have my closure that hey, I tried doing music and it didn't work. So anyways, I came back to Houston with that mindset of like, dude, let's just go all out. Like, just go all out. This is just treat it as a chapter in life. You're not going to be here forever. Just go all out and see where it goes. And so I went from flea market on the weekends to doing mobile. I was doing mobile for a while, for like 3 months. Then I found that location, moved into that location, and I was still doing somewhat mobile because when I had that location, I'm like, nobody knows I'm here. This location is like hidden, so there's no foot traffic. So I was like, well, I'm gonna still be mobile until I can convince people to start seeing me here. And then slowly and slowly, I just started to be like, dude, screw the mobile part. Like, I'm gonna stay in the shop. And you know,
mobile's hard, right? I mean, mobile's hard.
It is. Like, you have to. I'm gonna get in trouble for this. People are gonna freaking hate me. And look, if you disagree with me, like, please tell me, because this is like, to me, as a dialogue. And so, out of flat glass tinting, automotive tinting in the shop, and mobile tinting, in my opinion, mobile tinting automotive is the least desired route that you want to go with, at least for me, because I did it and I hated it. Like, I absolutely hated it. Like, I hated the changing environments. Like, I could adapt. Like, I can be very adaptable, but I just hated the amount of inefficiencies. And like I have a huge thing for efficiency. The amount of inefficiencies built into the mobile tinter for the automotive, like, to me, I just didn't like the fact that every environment was different, and not different in a way that I couldn't adapt to it. I mean, I could adapt to it, but different in the sense that you would ask a customer, hey, does this vehicle fit in here? Can I work around? And they would say, yeah, because in their mind, I'm like, hey, we could move stuff aside. We could wedge it in there, and technically we can crack the doors open. And I'm like, no, like, I need doors open, walk around, do all this stuff. And anyways, that I got started getting tired of that. I was doing some work for used car dealerships, which are the worst.
Yeah.
They're the worst. So,
I've done that before, and I will never do it again.
Dude, I was like, man, I can't continue with this. So then I got that shop over there, and I had to transition again. My shop was in a hidden location. There was no foot traffic. So I was getting leads from the flea market and word of mouth. And so in my mind, I said, if I get limited amount of leads, and I have to maximize what I do or get from these leads. So then I started building content, because I started saying, he's like, well, look, I could tell him over the phone that I'm good, that ceramic is better, this, that, or the other. But if I have a link that I could send it to him, that just, now I'm maximizing, like, my conversion rate is higher, because now people know, hey, this thing actually works and he's pretty good or whatever. So I started doing content, uploading it on YouTube, because again, it's just a link that I could text. And then one of the videos blew up on YouTube. It ranked #1 for ceramic tint across the world, globally, on YouTube. That video blew up. That video blew us up. Like, I stopped doing mobile completely. I was like, that's it, no more mobile. Like, we did everything in the shop. And then I kept building content and doing content. And from there, and honestly, like, the reason why I'm at where I'm at now, it's I can attribute it to certain videos that just, dude, I don't know what it is, man. You just put it up on bat, boom, just swing a home run. Okay, next one. And it's just like, every video has taken things to the next level. So I went from that to the other location. At the time, dude, it was one bay. I mean, you've been there. One bay.
Yep.
No installation. Super, like, very minimally lit. Like, I mean, there was very, very little lighting on it. And so slowly I started to build it out, put better lighting. I invested about like $3,500 in Swiss Trax floorings that made it look a whole lot better. Spent another $8,000 on the AC unit, which, did we need it? No, but I wanted to invest back into the environment and the culture of the company, because if me as an installer and if my staff are more comfortable being in there, then I feel like the productivity was going to go up and the morale is going to go up as a team. And it did. Yeah. It definitely did.
Morale's always great for a company. Yeah.
Yeah, it costs money, but you got to invest back into it. And that's the other thing too, man. Like, I'm always a student of the game. Like, I'm always looking at where the industry is going, and I'm always learning from stuff. And the one thing that I was realizing, a lot of people that, there's people like in town, and I was looking at them as competition, and I was realizing how much a lot of these guys create something and then just cash out and extract and then the growing stops because all they're doing is taking out and putting it into their pocket. And again, this was me being new, and I thought, if they're operating their company like that, I could tell that they haven't grown in the last couple of years because all they're doing is cashing out the profits and not putting back into it. So I'm like, all right. So if all I got to do in order for me to compete with these guys is out invest into the company. Like if I invest more into my company than they do in theirs, I'm gonna catch up to them. And I'm like, sure enough, like that's 100%. That's exactly what happened. Because I've had people that are coming to the shop and like, how much did you spend on these floors? I'm like, 3,500. Did you really need to put that in there? I'm like, no. But you're investing back in the brand.
Tim Johnson asked, what did the new floor cost in the new shop? That was a lot of flooring, which it was, and I actually helped lay probably half of that shop.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you don't want to give out like a total cost,
dude,
I
don't care, man.
Well,
It's
hey, okay. Well, you don't have to yell. I was just, Tim was just asking. So what was the cost of the floor of the new shop? Because it is a slightly bigger shop than what you had prior to. So what was the cost?
Yeah, the cost of the flooring for here was about 14,000 altogether.
Wow.
It's about 14,000 altogether to put the flooring on the new shop. And there's a lot more money, which that's got to be spent on the build out. But it's the one thing that I was struggling to realize, and I learned this pretty recently, like within the last week. When I went to the other shop, I built it out slowly. So when I first moved in at my original location, I didn't instantly put floors. I didn't instantly put AC. I didn't instantly put lights. It was like constantly figuring stuff out, how to make small improvements and small tweaks on it and stuff like that. And so when I came into this shop, already knowing exactly what I want. So, it was a lot of money getting spent back into it, which, at times I feel like, damn, like, am I really spending this much? But, again, it's like, okay, calm down, take a step back. And what was the formula that we followed at the other one that got it to the point where we outgrew it? And it was just like, keep reinvesting back into the brand and back into the company. And I'm sure that as long as we keep doing that, within 3 years, we're going to outgrow this place as well.
Well, I think you're going to outgrow it faster than what you think, because, as many times as I've been to your shop, and then I'm seeing the growth of your shop from the first location to this one now is unreal. It's unreal. I mean, you've literally built something, and I mean, we've talked so many times where you're just like, I don't know what my next step is. I don't know if I want to like move on to another shop or go bigger, or if I should just stay like this and stay comfortable. And when you when I was down there that one time before you moved into the new shop, you showed me the building, and you were like, what do you think? And I'm like, man, listen, if you've got a goal and you want to be somewhere, just do it. Like, what's holding you back? The only person that's holding you back is really you. And you took that leap, and you're like, watch this. And you got on the phone, you called the guy, and you're like, hey, I need this spot, this and that. And I was just like, wow, this guy's really doing it. And you did it. You did it. And I mean, there's growing pains. There's always growing pains in any business, especially with our business when you're trying to grow. And you are definitely overcoming all those little small things that it takes to quote unquote like amp up to your next step. And you're overcoming all those little steps. And me personally, and not only just as a friend, but also someone else that's also in this industry, I'm super proud of you. And you are going way further than what I think you actually think you are, because you're seeing yourself at this level. And I know you want to keep going, but everybody that watches you, your content, your TikTok videos, the stuff you do on Instagram and everything like that, I guarantee you, all of us out there right now are looking, going, he's going way further than where he's at right now. That's how I feel.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Speaking of TikTok, hold on. Speaking of TikTok, I'm gonna stop you real quick. Speaking of TikTok, one of your videos is over 14 million views.
Yeah.
which is unreal. And that's I think that's the most views on any of your videos on your
Yeah.
TikTok.
By
And
the way,
let me tell you, what's that?
I said, by the way, I think it's one of the top videos when you search up home decors on TikTok. It made it to, I think, I've gotten several screenshots from people that when they search home decor because they want to get ideas for their home, they're like, dude, your video's up there. I'm like, hey, we made it.
Well, you're absolutely phenomenal at content. You really are. I and I'm gonna kind of like go back whenever you said previously, you said you want to be performing. I think you're doing both at the same time now because you are performing, whether or not you're in front of the camera or not, you're still performing because your content is so smooth and it's very catching and people are absolutely loving it. And for you to be on top like that, you're doing something right. You really are.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Dude, here's the one thing that if anybody that is watching, well, screw that. It's the thing that I wish I could tell myself back then, and I say back then, I mean like within the last couple of months or even the last couple of years, is that anytime that you want to level up, every single level has its own unique set of problems. And you can either, in order to move past that to that next level, you've got to figure this part out. Like level one, you got to figure out level one problems. And then once you got that figured out, then you can move on to level two. You get level two figured out, you move on to level three. And there, like obviously you can grow recklessly. You can grow to level 5, 6, 7 without figuring out problems one, two, and three, right? So,
Exactly.
um, every level that has come on here has been like, whenever I was a one-man shop, whenever I was a one-man like installer thing and I ran the operation, like that had its own unique set of problems whenever I was like, okay, I am running out of time because I can only handle 5 customers at a time, but I'm getting like 15, 20 calls a day. Like there's no way I can do this. Like all right, cool, then I need help. I was like, okay, what's this? Now we got a set of problems because I need to hire somebody. How am I going to train them? Do I have a phone sales script? Do I have any of that stuff? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a unique set of problems for each level, and so you're just constantly figuring it out, man. That's all it is. And it's not meant for everybody because it's a lot of late nights, it's a lot of anxiety, and it's a lot of stuff. But on the upside, it's like, hey, the harder the climb, the better the views. That's all I see it. And if I ever want to like one day scale back, I know that I can get to this point if I ever wanted to. But you got choices. That's all it is. You got choices. And we got here. We're here now. I can always go back to a 1,300 square foot shop if I want to.
But do you really want to?
Hell no, dude. Like the amount of space that we have here, like it's crazy. So we were at a 1,300 square foot shop that had an office and a little lobby in it. So we could only fit 3 cars, and that was uncomfortable. And this past Saturday, like I think I posted it up on my Instagram, but we had like, I believe we had like 7 in here at one time, and we still had room for more. 7 cars, which, by the way, this is another thing I wish somebody would have told me because I had this concept and this theory, and it was true. It was confirmed to me on Saturday. But in my 1,300 square foot shop, 7 cars was a full schedule for us. That we were packed at 7 cars in one day. This past Saturday, we had, I think, about like 13 and the same amount of installers, but 13 vehicles we pushed out that day. What was the difference? We had space. We had,
Space.
yeah, we had
Absolutely
extra
space.
space. That's all it was. Because like in our other shop, every time we had to move a vehicle out, we had to move stuff out of the way to move it out. Here, we can bring in 4 or 5 at a time, knock those out, move out. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Sorry. I'm reading comments. Everybody's like, deep throat that mic. And I'm like, I'm listening to you and I'm reading these comments and I'm just like, I'm blown away with some of these comments. So real quick, if everybody can hear me better, just let me know. In the comments, is this good? Are we good? Because I want to continue this, and if you guys stop telling me to deep throat the mic, because that's not kid friendly. um, when you when you when you're talking about doing the it's not helping. See, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I haven't changed any settings on my mic. But anyways, um, when you were talking about doing the content on TikTok, I don't know how many times. How many times have I been out to visit you, and I usually just stay with you. I mean, we're not close, but we're close enough where I can stay with you, and you, um, you will literally sit on your phone and do content for TikTok like for hours. And it's funny because like you're doing that and then I'm sitting there doing stuff for my brand and other things and I'm working the same time you are
Yeah.
and you literally just you get zoned out. And I've asked I remember matter of fact the last time I was there I was like, "Hey dude, check this out." And you're like, "Yeah, that was cool." And I was like, "You didn't even look." And you're like, "What?" You're like totally like you're like this when you're doing your videos. You're like streamlined right to your phone, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this thing. And you're and I sit back and I laugh, and then I'm like, but here's the thing: you're doing it, and you're doing it for a reason, and it just shows that if you don't put the time and the effort into it, you're not gonna gain anything out of it. And I see how much you're gaining out of it. It's because you are putting the work into it.
It's obsession. It's 1,000%, man. It's obsession. Like, I mean, you're the same way, but um, I don't know, man. Like I said, time is finite. Like I don't know, dude. Like at least where I'm at in my life, I'm not married. I don't have kids, and I know that if that comes to fruition or becomes a reality, I'm not gonna have the same time to devote to these things. And I feel like, okay, this is my productive professional life. If I want to truly make a difference, like this is as much time as I'm gonna have. I feel like that. So um, there's like a sense of urgency, but it's tricky, man, because sometimes when you think about things that way, it can be easy to feel like overwhelmed because you're looking at the quicksand just running out. But yeah, whatever, man. It's you get zoned into these things and it's pure obsession. And like once, yeah, like I'm pretty bad about having like I don't know what they call it, attention deficit disorder. Like things pop up and it's like attention's here and now it's over here and now it's here. But anyways, yeah, man, it's obsession. It's a commitment to it. I love doing content. I love storytelling. I love doing content. That's my number like one passion on top of everything that I do. It's the content part of it, and like Tintertainment is a manifestation of that passion. And but like a really cool thing that's happened is we finally I onboarded a full time media guy to work for us at Texas Tint Masters, and he's also going to be doing entertainment content as well. So now with access to a full time videographer, let's just say you guys are going to get tintified and bougiefied. Squeegee that.
Bougie, bougiefied.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we got a full time media guy, a full time videographer. It's been some time coming. It's something that I've been working on for a while to try to get somebody that's going to bring more of the ideas to life and more of the storytelling to life. And so now we've got that person. Today was his first day, and
And
I'm
how
excited,
did
man.
that go for his first day?
I was actually impressed because I wasn't here for like the first couple of hours. I was out doing a flat glass job, and so he got in sometime around like 11:30. He sends me a video. He's like, "Hey, I put this together. Let me know what you think." And I took a look at the video, and I'm like, "Okay, he's only been there for like a little less than 2 hours, and he already put out a piece of content that I thought for the amount of time that he put into it, I thought was pretty good." And I was like, "All right, I think we got something here." I'm like, I feel excited about it. So I'm going to be working with him on getting him familiar with like the objectives and the visions with stuff, and then just letting him roam free. But he's going to be the guy that's going to be tagging along with me from now on to doing like the stuff like the Beckers, like what they did, the Tinter tours, the Tinter battles. anything that's out of town tint related, he's going to be a part of those things now. And then we're going to be starting to document all those stories, man, documenting the stories and building out a database of tintertaining content.
And I know what it's like to be pound around with you all day and all night. I know exactly what he's up for. I do.
Hey man, it's passion. If you ain't got it, don't come here.
That's true. That is absolutely true. All right, let's see. Just real quick, is the audio any better at all before I continue with Carlos? Because there's some stuff we're going to get into here in a minute. I just want to make sure the volume's good. I did tweak something, but I don't know. I don't know if it's the mic itself. No, everybody's saying no. I don't know what to do.
Dude, just turn off the comments, man. Get rid of that.
Yeah, right. Just turn off the comments and screw it.
Yeah, dude.
Anyways, well, I just want to make sure that something's coming through, but apparently nothing's changed, and I don't know what else to do. Something's just not right. But anyways,
yeah, man, he's got to.
I just turn it up and down. I don't know what's going on, but whatever. We'll just keep going. As long as you can hear me, that's all that matters. We'll go. We'll just keep going. You're a little weak, but we can hear you.
Okay. Hey, can I give a shout out?
Absolutely, yeah. Go ahead. If you want to give a shout out, Carlos, go ahead. Do what you got to do, man.
Yeah, I want to shout out the Beast Mode crew chat, BMC.
Who's that?
That's the good old film trainer, omnipotent, all-knowing tint whiz, Eric Devash, and then the Pharaoh Cero, David Cero. These guys, dude, like
that group has their own name now.
Yeah, it's Beast Mode Crew or Beast Mode Chat, BMC.
Okay. I think you told me about that a couple weeks ago, but I don't remember.
Yeah, man, it's actually pretty cool. Like, it's so Marco just started it because Marco tends to be the one. He's gonna hate me. He tends to be the one that harasses us with messages, and so he made a group chat, and he put me and Eric and David Cero in it, and so it's. I don't know, man. Like when he first put it together, I didn't know what to think of it, but it's been a while that every single day something is like we have conversation about something, and it'll be like anything, a picture of your breakfast or a selfie, like the Pharaoh Cero taking a selfie, or Marco saying something stupid or telling us about his kids or whatever, you know, or something. But it's honestly, it's like one of the only group chats that I really stay active in, and so it's cool, man. It's cool. It's something new. It's and like that's like its own little click, and hey, I love it. I love it every single morning. Like there's always something there throughout the day. Is something there, and sometimes like I'll be having a rough day, but somebody says something stupid in the chat, and it just like lifts me up a little bit. So shout out to the.
It's always good to have little groups like that because it does kind of change up the day for you. So it's always nice to have those kind of things. I know sometimes me and you send little corny things, you know, every so often. I don't get in a whole bunch of group messages, but I am in one right now with all the sponsors for Tinter Brand, and I tell you what, the battle between Shade 9 and Haas Evans with Extreme Shade. So I made a deal where it was it's so funny. I was like, all right, I'm going to make everybody their own little discount code, and whoever's code gets used the most at the end of 6 months, I will come out to their shop for free, and I'll work for a whole week. And I tell you what, those two have been battling back and forth, and it's just unreal, you know. And so whenever I get messages from them, I start laughing. And those two are absolutely hilarious. I love them both, and it's just awesome. But all right,
dude, I love the camaraderie in the tint community.
I mean, absolutely.
It's all new to me. Like it really, like honestly, it started with you. Like you were the first person that I had made friends, you know, online. You know, not here. Not because I saw you, because we our paths crossed. It was completely online. You were the first one in my vicinity, in my circle, that I established that friendship. And honestly, I think if it wasn't for you, I probably would have had this other negative mindset towards other tinters, because at the time I thought, hey, you're in the same industry, we're supposed to be at war with each other. And like when you sent me that message, I was like, okay, is he gonna send me the bill after that? Where's the invoice for this advice? And it never came.
No, that's the whole point of when I started doing the shows and everything on Instagram. It wasn't to steal business. It wasn't to put anybody down. It wasn't none of that stuff. I wanted the industry to grow closer and more of a family versus tint shop fighting tint shop over tint jobs and who's better and who's this. It's like, you know what, we're all in the same game. We're all after the same end result. We all battle the same kind of issues day in, day out, whether it's business, whether it's customers, whether it's installs. We all deal with the same stuff. And it's like, why can't we all just come together and help each other? Just because you're over in Texas and I'm in Colorado doesn't mean we can't help each other. It's advice. It's someone to lean on, someone to call and go, hey, how do I approach this? If you were in my shoes, like, what would you do? And it's just all those little things that could help someone out later on. And that's why I started the show. It's like, I want to bring those together. And when I started bringing guests on, it's like, I want people to come back and go, how did Carlos do it? How did Eric with Tint Wiz do it? You know, how did Haas Evans do it with Extreme Shades? What was their ups? What was their downs? How did they overcome it? All these little things that will help someone else later on down the road. This is why I did it. This is it. This is stuff that I didn't have available, 25 years ago when I started tinting windows. I never had any of this. And I don't want anybody to struggle because it's a great industry. It's very close knit. There's quite a bit of us that are in a really close knit group. And now look, just over the last year, we're doing charity stuff. We're doing events in different states. We're all coming together. We're all taking time off from our shops, from our everyday lives, and we're going out. We're raising money for charities. We're doing events. I mean, speaking of events, we got Tinter Battles. We're coming up on 3rd year of Tinter Battles. And this is stuff that's never been done before. And it's, God, where was this stuff 25 years ago when I really wanted to be like fully into the industry? Because over 25 years, I started kind of getting like bored, and whenever I started seeing this change, I'm like, oh my God, I got like all amped up again. I'm like, it's like a fresh start for myself. But now I don't own a company. I don't own a shop anymore. I don't work for anybody anymore. And I'm like, damn it. I'm like in a whole different, I don't know,
a class,
category. I'm in a different category of the tint community. But I still love it. And I still love, getting connected with everybody and stuff like that. So, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. So
I would definitely say that I think you're one of the influential key leaders in helping to unify the industry more and bring it together, because I know, like, there's no way that I'm the only one that you made friends, because in the same way that you did it with me, you just saw something, you offered advice, and to me, I was like, well, I was like, why is this guy helping me out? But like, no, you were just doing it to do it. And then, obviously, I think you're one of those people. Obviously, Eric Vash is a prime example of a person that helps and doesn't ask for anything in return, like ever. So I think there's definitely been like a few key people that have helped to change the industry for the better. And I think also the industry is also going through a maturing process, because I think as a whole for a long time, this whole people fighting with each other and like, I got to take control of the industry because it's mine. And I'm tired of tinting windows. And the only way I'm going to get out of this is I got to make money off other tinters and stuff like that. Like, dude, that crap just is not going to hold up anymore. Like anything ungenuine, that you're done. Like you're not going to stick around. Like, and people see through crap like that. Like the people that have been around for a long time, that have manipulated others, that have taken advantage of people, that have not being honest and truthful and genuine, like your time is done. Like that's not gonna fly because we're all so much more connected. You screw one person over, that person's gonna tell everybody else. People find out. And what I like about the stuff that you like, for example, like stuff that you do, you set the example. Like you are the change that you want to see. And the same thing I say that about Eric, about anybody else that like Haas, and there's another prime example of that too. Be the change that you want to see in the world. And so these guys, I feel like they practice that in their lives. And dude, that's the stuff that I feel like needs more elevated, needs a spotlight. Because I mean, there's people out there. It's human nature. You're gonna have the people that are greedy, very short-sighted. It's all about them. They try to one-up you on everything. I mean, everybody knows a one-up guy. Everybody knows a one-up guy. You do something and they've got to come, oh, bro, I did it better. I did it better, bro. Love you. Everybody knows that one-up guy, man. It's like, dude, chill out. Chill out. Help people out, and you're gonna grow with them. It's all it is.
Absolute facts. Absolute facts. Right there.
Marco,
you even have the people who actually not only say stuff like what you were saying, like, I can do better or anything like that. There's the ones that are out there saying it'll never work. Whatever you're doing, it's not going to work. Stop it. I've tried before. It doesn't work.
Oh my God.
And I mean, come on. You already know where I'm kind of going with this. You already do. And it's a certain, excuse me, it's a certain person that I used to work for. And he literally told me the traveling's not going to work. The merchandise is not going to work. I've tried it all. It's not going to work. You're not going to succeed. It's nothing. It's not going to happen. Don't even try. Don't waste your time. And I'm sitting back right now and I'm like, wow.
What?
If I would have listened, if I would have listened to his words and stuck with what he said, I wouldn't be where I'm at now, because he would have brainwashed me and I would have been like, oh, well, he's a business owner. He knows better. And well, guess what? It's false.
Well, so when you have people that are like, 'cause it happens all the time. And sometimes some people come from a good place in their heart, I feel like. So for example, if a loved one, you felt like they were making a mistake, you would want to tell them like, hey, don't do this. You're making a mistake. So sometimes they come from a good place in heart. Other times they don't. Other times they'll come at it because it's like, I think it stems from some type of jealousy, man, because if this person feels superior to those around them, and this person and one of those people are trying to do something that you felt at one point, well, if that person succeeds, that's a blow to your own ego because of the own expectations that you set for yourself. So therefore, I don't want that person to succeed, because if they succeed, that means that I look bad. And that's a terrible freaking mindset, because you and I have both had these conversations where you've had your person that have told you like, you can't do this, you're not going to do this, you're not going to succeed. You go and do it anyways, and guess what? It's like, hey, can you tell me that one more time? Can you tell me that one more time? Yes. Like, oh, it's so sweet.
What was that one more time? What did you say? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's I don't know, like, but like I said, it's nobody knows the future. You can't predict everything. People make mistakes. We all make mistakes. The only thing that you can do is course correct, learn from them, and try it again. Yep. And when I learned pretty early on, dude. And like, the person I'm talking about, but there's one individual that was saying like this whole character thing was not going to work out, that it was just a temporary thing, it was a fad or whatever. I felt it in my heart that it was like, well, I was doing it for a different reason. I was doing it to cause change and create something and to network and all that stuff like that. Anyways,
you did it.
Yeah.
Let me just say, you absolutely 100%, 1,000% did it. Because before you get going on this, when you came out with that character, you were actually bringing it up to me before you even like brought it out. We were talking on the phone about it. And I was just like, man, you do you, buddy. Do you. Let's see what happens. And you brought it out. And now look, holy cow, dude. Look, you're on my shirt. Like, are you serious? Don't ever say it doesn't work, because it works. You're here and you're absolutely killing it with the character thing. You're known for it. If you say Carlos, everybody knows you as the Texas Squeegee. So anyways, go ahead.
Well,
what else?
What I was gonna reference was that at some point, I had to realize that when somebody tells you don't do it, it's gonna fail, it's not gonna work or whatever. Trust me, I've tried it and it didn't work. You kind of have to accept it in your mind to say, your failures are not my failures. So if it didn't work for you, please tell me what you thought was a mistake so that I don't do that. But don't sit here and tell me to not even try because you failed at it. Because
Yes,
your failures
exactly.
are not my failures. Squeegee that.
Squeegee that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very well said right there. Absolutely.
But yeah.
Hey, no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I mean that was just pretty much it. Like, I mean, like I said, when you come in, like when you come in any industry, man. Like, here's the other thing that I started seeing a couple of things on Tint for Life, and it's not that group, but some of those guys that started building a name, and then copycats came out and started using their content to advertise their stuff. Like, I started seeing it popping up. I hadn't reached out to those people, but I did want to say something, and that is, if you've got something unique, a lot of times you don't realize it until other people start copying you. And when they do, don't take it as an insult. Take it as a confirmation that you're doing something good. Why?
Yep.
Because people don't copy shit. They copy good stuff. If you're doing something good, expect the copies. If you're doing something terrible, don't expect those copies because nobody copies terrible things. People copy good things. So expect the copies. They're going to happen. You can't worry about that stuff. Because whenever I first started doing, like, making a lot of these waves, and this is before Tintertainment, whenever I was doing Texas Tint Masters content originally, I had this one shop that was in my town that took, damn near took, like, studied my bio on Instagram and took the exact same setup and just made their version of it. And it bothered me for a little bit. But then I was like, why is this bothering me? Like, it's messing with my personal life because it's on my mind. And then after a while, like, seeing somebody copy something that I did, it's like, oh, okay, I don't care. I don't care because that's not the only good idea that I have. Like, I have a ton of good ideas. Like, you trust me, it's kind of like what Disney said. I just kind of adapted this mindset too. Walt Disney said, "I'm gonna innovate faster than the imitators can imitate." So I just kind of keep it that same way too. Like, now I know, hey, if you're gonna come out with something that's new, that's unique, everything is always a risk because it could go totally sideways and go like and flop. So there's always a risk with a new idea. Like, it's either going to flop or it's going to do well. But if it does well, expect the people to copy you. You can't hit a home run and then sit at the freaking home plate like, that's it, man. Like, I'm set for life. Like, I hit a home run. No, dude, you got to keep running. You got to keep running. You got to realize that in order to keep up, you got to keep hitting home runs. Get good at swinging the bat, because if you don't, that's when it gets to your mind of like, damn, I had a good idea and everybody copied it. Well, if you had like 10 more good ideas, you wouldn't care as much.
You know, I had to deal with the same thing. And we've had that discussion before.
Yeah.
Copycat.
I mean, it happens, dude. Like, it's
exactly. It's going to happen regardless. Someone sees something good and they want a piece of the pie at the same time. I mean, that's just it's going to happen, right? And I wasn't like upset, but at first I'm like, okay,
you've had copies.
Well,
you know which one I'm talking about, bro.
But it's okay. It's absolutely okay.
No, but look. Here's the one thing though that I take away from the Tinter brand. You came out with that, and like, I still remember having that conversation with you in Arizona whenever you're like, I got the trademark, and I was like, my mind was like, and I'm like, bro, do you realize what you just did? Like, you basically own the thing that everybody is in this industry. Everybody's like, who's installs films is a tinter. You technically own that name. You own that brand. Like, in terms of, I just knew in terms of branding, what is the number one name that you want? It's Tinter, because everybody who installs film on glass is a tinter. So obviously when you came out with that, you had your copycats that came out with it too. And no problem, dude. Like, sometimes it's copycats. Sometimes I got influenced by Tinter brand to start my own merch or whatever you want to call it. You know, it doesn't matter. But to me, I just never thought, like, dude, like, the level of branding that you have, like, you have a consistent content production piece. You do a Tinter Tuesday every single week for branding is phenomenal because like you're constantly in front of people, you're constantly a topic. Whether it's as Tinter 3, Traveling Tinter, or Tinter Brand, everybody knows it's associated together. So like you're consistent in the content you put out. Also, this show right here is a embodiment of the continual progress that you make to improve yourself over time. So when you first had the Tinter brand shirts that came out, I mean, they were the original ones, but look at the stuff you've got now. You got towels, you got everything. You got freaking rug mats like for your car. Like
Oh man, if you only knew half of the products out there, they're not even released yet. It's just Haas Evans just jumped on. He's quite the character, let me tell you. You know, I when you talk about copycats, now whenever the brand came out and everything, I didn't like foresee things like that happening. Honestly, I mean, I honestly didn't even know if the brand was actually going to like take off. Like this was all new. It was all new territory for me, and man, when it took off and everything was great, I'm like, cool. And then everybody started hitting me up for like, you know, customized merchandise with the brand, and I'm like, let's do it. And now it's just it's constant, and it's fun. I love doing it, and
like
it's
you
just it's great.
the moment I knew that it got bigger than you was when we were at that what was it, that event over at WFCT, I think, last year. And the amount of Tinter brand shirts that I saw walking around, people that I had no idea who they were. Like I'd never seen them. So I'm like, I don't know if they're Jason's friends or not. I just see a bunch of Tinter brand shirts. And then like there was one, I remember vividly, this one post on Window Tint Stuff group. They were like, hey, where do I get those Tinter shirts that I see everybody wearing, the one with the red box around them? And I was like, huh. It's like they're asking about the brand and not really Jason, which to me is an accomplishment because ultimately, like, you want the brand to exist on its own and not depend on you as the star. You know, obviously, like you're the personality, but once it gets to the point where other people are recognizing the brand and not just necessarily associated with you, it's like, okay, now it's growing beyond the reaches of what, you know, of beyond your reaches, basically. Well, that's when I was like, now it's looking like I mean, now it's like it's a brand. It's like a brand. So that was pretty cool to see that. And but I said, man, like when I first started, like my brain in 2019, I think is when we filmed the Tinter Tour episode 3 with Greg. That was when I was like, my brain was popping off with, dude, you could do so much with this. If you own the Tinter brand, like you could do so much with it. You could build it. You could license the brand to companies, tool companies, like anything. To me, I was looking at it, I was like, wow, this is like a licensing deal if you really get this right. If you get all the branding stuff right, it's a licensing deal.
Well, just to give you a little hint, tools are coming out very soon. Oh, oops, I didn't say that. Anyways, we're not talking about me, we're talking about you. Let's let's move on. Let's talk about. Wait. Did anyone?
Hold on, bougie tinter break.
Hold on, David Rosenberg. Well, let's see. Where's this comment at? I gotta bring this up if I can find it. Oh, what's he? Nope, wrong one. This one. Did I get the right one this time? Nope. Everybody's typing. I can't get it fast enough. Oh man, where'd it go? This one. I think it was this one. Did anyone see another stranger at the airport with a Tinter brand shirt? I have no idea what he's talking about. Do you know what he's talking about?
No. Hey, by the way, speaking of artistic, Liz's videos lately have been like, oh my god, they've been making me laugh, dude. I don't know if you've seen them.
Their content's their content's really well. I mean, put together very well. Also,
It makes me laugh. Like when I saw her, she did the when you go to redeem your $99 tint coupon, and she gets
yes.
out and there's like gunshots, and she's like all like she hides behind the door. I was dying. Dude. Oh my god, this is so dumb.
When when I saw her get out of the car, the first gunshot I heard in the background, I was like, "Oh, she's getting her windows tinted down in the ghetto."
Yeah, that's what I said too.
I was like, "Yeah, you might want to go somewhere else for the window tint, there, girl." Yeah, their videos are absolutely hilarious when they're doing some of them. It's just it's awesome.
Dude, like
Austin, hold on. Someone asked if I was ever going to go grow hair, and I just want to confirm I will never ever have hair. So sorry.
how about what if we put on a toupee?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Whoa.
No.
What if we put on a toupee and then have you walk around Tinter Battles 2023 and the first person that recognizes you something special?
Oh, I'm kind of liking that.
I like that too.
Hey, I wondered if I should do yeah, hey, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this on the phone, not on live. And
now they're gonna know
something. Now you got me thinking. You got me thinking now. Yeah, end the show. Carlos and I got to get on. No, I'm just playing. No. All right, let's move. It's something else. Let's talk about Tintertainment. Something that is growing day by day. Oh my gosh! I mean, I can't even open my Facebook without seeing something from Tintertainment. Something. So let's talk about that. First off, let's do this. I'm gonna shut the chat down just for a little bit.
By the way, I want to give a shout out to Tintertainment and its members for I don't want to say forcing, but for encouraging the previously established media to step up their game and actually act more like they care about the tinters. So, Squeegee, that I said it.
Absolutely. So, as you, I don't know if you can probably, I don't think you can see this, but
yeah, I can see it.
Pulled up on the screen. Oh, you can see it. Okay, perfect. So here we are. We're at tintertainment.com. If you guys don't know anything about Tinter Battles 2023, that is January 5th through the 8th. That is on Amelia Island in Florida. Tickets are already on sale, right?
Yeah.
For the event. And there's actually rooms blocked off for the event. For the resort. So they can actually go on here to this website. Is that correct? If I'm correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah, tintertainment.com. That's the website. When you click on register tickets, it takes them over to the Eventbrite account, and then they could purchase their tickets there. The tickets, the entry tickets basically covers just about everything. Pretty much just about everything, like from the food all the way to breakfast, lunch, dinner for during your stay, unlimited drinks, access to enter any segment at the event. Like you can participate in the training sessions, you can participate in like some of the more educational sessions, access to watch any of the competitions. There is no upcharge, there's no extra fees, there's none of that stuff. It's just simple, straight up. Your ticket is your entry, and then have fun. It's like a big old Disneyland for tinters.
That is absolutely correct. And guys, again, all you guys gotta do is go to tintertainment.com. Click up on the top where it said get ticket or Tinter Battles 2023 right here. Ticket registration. Scroll on down and it's right here, guys. Get your ticket. They're $250 a person. And it literally tells you everything about the event.
Anybody 18 and under enter
some
free.
Pictures. This is I'm sorry, what'd you say?
So anybody 18 and under, they enter free. So at 18 and above, you got to get a ticket. 18 and under, you're completely free.
Gotcha. This literally gives you hotel options right here. Gives you the reservation number. Make sure you guys refer to the group Tinter Battles 2023 for the special discounted rate. And man, there's oceanfront single and double. And there's also oceanfront bedroom villas. This is a fantastic resort. You guys want to go see Tinter Battles 2023. January 5th through the 8th. You need to get tickets now and get all your accommodations set for. And man, I cannot wait, Carlos. I think it's just going to be a freaking blast.
Yeah, we're not too far from now, but I'm going to be announcing the lineup of competitions. I think I've pretty much narrowed down what kind of competitions we're having. I will say this, the heat shrink battles is definitely returning. We're definitely bringing that back. Because I would probably say the hit of the event was the heat shrink battles. We're bringing that back. Obviously, the champs, Chuck Cochran, Jimmy Nance, got to come back, defend the titles against new teams. But there's 2 more competitions that I haven't announced yet. I'm really excited about one of them. Well, I'm excited about all of them actually, but there's one in particular that I'm excited to. Real excited to announce it. So, anyways, like the competition lineup has pretty much been there. We're going to be doing more not educational, more interactive segments for things. But everything is about the tinter and the tinter experience. Like that's the number one goal and number one objective. How can we create the most tinteractive, most tintifying, most tintertwining experience ever for tinters and their families? And so that's Tinter Battles 2023. That's January 5th through the 8th, at the beginning of the year, which also at the beginning of the year, I haven't announced it, but I'll just announce it now because we kind of did a version of this in 2022, but it's the tinter ceremonies. Since it's at the end of 2022, at the beginning of 2023, I'm going to be hosting the annual tinter ceremonies, and we're going to reflect back on what happened that year, and we're going to have awards based on certain things that either was most entertaining, WTF moment of the year, breakout star of the year, stuff like that. So all those kinds of things, we're going to be doing things, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of tintertainment in it. So I'm excited, man, for all this stuff. Again, 2021, we pushed the creative envelope, did something new. 2022, we did it again in 2023. Just more of the same.
And when are you going to announce the next 2? You said next 2 little events or competitions. When are you going to make that announcement for those?
I'm not sure if it's going to be anytime.
I like to dig on this show, so
I'm not sure if it's going to be anytime very, very soon, but when the announcement does come out, it's going to be coming out through a promo. So it's not going to be it ain't going to be a freaking text update on a private group. I'll tell you that. This is going to be Tintertainment style. It's going to be a promo, a super Tinteractive hype promo announcement of this type of competition. By then, I'll have the landing page already on the website. I'll have all the rules, all the stipulations, the qualifications, everything's going to be worked out. So as soon as we hit it, we hit the ground running. And if you want to enter it, you'll know exactly what you got to do. I do get this question a lot, though. I do get this question a lot. Hey, I want to be at the main Tinter Battles competing for the belts, for the titles. So what do I got to do? And the simple answer is this. Put yourself out there and be a leader. Make my job easy in selecting the teams. At the end of the day, it's a platform, it's a spotlight. Be a person worthy of that spotlight and make it easy. The community will, it's up to the community is what I'm saying. We're not going to put a negative Nancy up there. We're not going to put a Debbie up there.
Yeah, no Debbie Downers in this thing, right?
No, you got to be an elite installer and you got to be a leader. You can't just be an elite installer, but be a jerk and think you're going to make it up there. No, that's not entertainment. Go somewhere else for that, but not here. Don't bring that negativity in here because that's not going to make it out here.
Yeah, I get you. Cool. What else is going on with you? The whole Texas Squeegee. What's next for the Texas Squeegee? So Carlos, we're done with Carlos. Texas Squeegee? What's next for him?
Well, I tell you this, the Texas Squeegee is definitely making a return to Tinter Battles 2023. In what shape or form, we are yet to. Texas Squeegee is going to come back. He's not going to come back the same. Not the colorful character that you're wearing on that shirt. It's going to be a different version of that one. I'll tell you what. There's another character that's coming back at the same time as well.
And I know who that character is.
That's the reporter himself.
Yes.
Because
I know about that.
In the media of the Tinter world, the Tintegrity has been compromised. Let's just put it that way. And so the reporting Squeegee was born out of preserving and establishing Tintegrity. So come Tinter Battles 2023, reporting Squeegee is going to come back once more to preserve the Tintegrity of media and reporters in the world of the Tinters. But reporting Squeegee's coming back, and he's coming back a little bit tintified. Let's put it that way.
I can't even I can't imagine how this is going to end up. I really, you always have such, like, your ideas are way out here, and you always make it pull through. So, whenever you're like, oh, I'm going to come out and do this, I'm thinking like this small, you know what I mean? Like, from what you're saying, I'm like, okay, he's going to come out, da da da. But what you say, you make it this big. And
so she said,
I can't only imagine. Well, I'm just saying, like, I can't imagine how this is going to end up at Tinter Battles. I just,
dude,
I just have to sit and wait.
Man, like, I'm just one person. Like, it's the people around, people like you, people like Marco, like Eric, like David Serro, like, just so many more people that I can't mention every single one. I mean, my team here at Texas Tint Masters too, like, without them doing what they do every single day, like, there's no way I'd have the time to do any of their fluff stuff. So it's a great team that support everything that is Tintertainment. And man, it's like I said, it's incredible. Like, I'm one person with ideas, but then you get with somebody else that's got crazy ideas too, and you put two crazy people. Look, here's the thing: having crazy ideas is not really the unique thing. Is having crazy ideas with the ability to execute. That's whenever you've got a lethal combination, because there are people that have ideas and all they do is talk and overpromise and never deliver. But then when you have someone that can actually execute, and not only execute, because execution is not only the ability to plan and follow an idea and plan it through. I mean, have an idea, plan it, and follow the plan through. Is not just that. It's having the courage to actually do it, because a lot of times when you see someone take a risk, and a lot of times from the outside looking in, you see someone do something and it's like it ends up being great. You hit a home run. What they don't see is the anxiety behind making that action. Because you'll talk to people, man, and people that have the greatest ideas or take the biggest risks. Yeah, when it pays off, it's like freaking awesome. But when you know that person, you don't know the late nights they were up, like, biting their nails because this might not work. What if it doesn't work? Like, what if nobody cares? It's when you put yourself out there, man, it's a risk. But again, I have huge respects and I mean huge respect to anybody that I feel I could see when someone is putting themselves out there. Like, when somebody posts a video, for example, like on any other Facebook groups, and they're taking something in a direction that's not normal. Like, I'm a fan, even if it doesn't work out well. Like, I highly respect just the courage to go out and try it, because, dude, we're all out here doing the same thing. We're all just trying to figure it out, and there are people that sit back and criticize those who are trying, and there are people who try it and do it, and those are the ones that I have huge respect for.
Yeah, and I mean, look at what I'm doing. I mean, come on, man. I started this thing like 3-4 years ago, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And I'm still putting myself out there, and now I'm on YouTube, and I'm still having some issues here and there, and I'm slowly but surely getting them worked out. And but I'm still trying. I'm not going to give up. I'm not, I could have easily gave up. Last week's show when the audio was completely muted for like the first like 10 minutes, and I'm like, I was sweating, my phone was going off, everybody's like, can't hear you, and I'm like, oh my god, I was embarrassed. But I'm like, I sit back and I go, you know what, if these people are still sticking around, they still come back this week to watch, even though I completely effed it up last week, and then here I am, and I effed it up on your show on the beginning of it, and I'm like, I'm still learning, and I'm still willing to sit back, take the criticism, and I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna fix it one way or another, and I'm not gonna give up. I'm not. If I give up, then I know for a fact I completely failed, and I can't live with that. And I refuse to fail. If I have to give up, it's because of certain other reasons, not because of failure.
Yeah.
So I'm trying.
Yeah. I respect that, man. And yeah, I think, and we
You're
all
still here. We're still good.
Oh yeah, it did. We all appreciate you doing what you do because it's not easy. Like, I mean, dude, sometimes just to even try to tune into your show live every single Tuesday sometimes gets difficult because we've got everyday things going on in our lives. So the fact that you've been able to consistently put this on, like, for anybody that doesn't know, who has never put on consistent content like this, it takes a commitment and it takes a lot of sacrifices, and a lot of people don't see what happens behind the camera. So from the audience watching, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, like, yeah, thank you for keep doing this and not giving up on this stuff because you're elevating the game. I think that, look, a short-sighted way of looking at what you're doing is looking at the view counts and saying, "Oh, you're not getting millions of views. There's just no worth here." Like, I'm like, dummy. This is Jason's got first movers advantage. Tint Wiz Eric last week mentioned something about the first movers advantage, and I know what the first movers advantage is. But when he was saying it last week about like how he felt like Tint Wiz, the early users of Tint Wiz have that first movers advantage, I also think that you have the same thing too with the podcasting version of the tint community, because the industry is only going to keep growing, and there's a lot of people in a lot of different directions that are bringing more awareness to the industry, whether it's on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, any other social media platforms. Like, it doesn't matter. Expo doing their things with the car racing stuff. Everybody's has the same goal of trying to increase awareness for the industry. Whereas the industry, more people come floating into it, you're going to be positioned in a way where when they want podcasts out of it, or even new people getting into the industry who do their research, you're going to be the guy they're going to be finding. The content creator, I said this Patrick Latman's show, that the content creators of today become the leaders of tomorrow and the influencers of tomorrow, because in order for you to learn your stuff, you do research, and the research is based on the content that other people have put out. So hence, you.
I'm trying. I really am. I mean, there's some nights where I'm literally sitting in here and I'm literally looking. I'm looking up videos, and I'm trying to figure out how this works, how this connects with this and that, and I'm still learning. This is totally different from being on Instagram and just hitting one button that says go live. And now I'm trying to make it a little bit more presentable with the text, the chats, this and that, and everything like that, and I'm trying my best. I just, for some reason, the audio's not getting. Once I get it corrected, I feel like it's just not staying that way. So I'm working on it. It's a learning process, and I'm not going to give up. I'm not, and I love having people on anyways, and sharing their success stories, their failure stories, their goals and everything like that, because the whole point of this is to highlight the person that's on here. It has nothing to do about me or anything like that. It's just you, whoever's on here, the guest, and just have fun. You know, I watch Patrick Latman's lives, and his are just, you know, he's been doing it a lot longer than me, and he's very, you know, seamless. I mean, he's just like perfect.
Yeah, that
And
dude is like he's so. Patrick Latman is a interesting character, dude, because he's like, I don't know, he's his own person. Like, I don't know how to describe him. Like, hey, because he's Patrick Latman. It's like almost an adjective at this point, but he's got stuff like very well put together, and like, you know, when you see his setup, and I see like his setup, I'm like, man, this thing is like pretty legit, you know. And I've heard some of his shows, like the live podcast that he does, like the sound quality, everything was like really, like, man, he had a legit operation going, dude. But you know, speaking of something, I wanted to also bring up I don't know if you've seen like Mike Norg's posts lately, but so like Mike Norg is he's quite the interesting character, because he's a guy that he's hyper competitive, hyper creative, but yet somehow willing to open up his playbook and saying, here you go.
Oh, yes.
Learn from me. And I gotta say, dude, I did want to say, like, huge mad respect for Mike Norg, because I don't want to insult anybody, but the less than average IQ level people down in the comment section trashing this guy is so incredibly frustrating, because Mike is spewing out facts, and these guys are down in the comment section hating on it, and I'm just like, oh my god, I gotta pull my hair out. Like, I'm gonna have to go bald, like, you know, like you. I'm gonna have the same hairstyle. I'm pulling out my hair, dude, because I'm like, this guy is opening up his formula for doing a successful business, and then you got these jerks down in the comments that are trying to argue with him. I'm like, what are you arguing with? You're arguing against this highly successful guy who's built himself one of the biggest shops in one of the most populated cities in the country. Now he's transitioning himself into having one of the most influential education programs that teach not only the skill set, but the business of running a business in this industry. And you got people that are hating on, trying to argue with him. I'm like, if you're going to argue with someone like Mike Norg, then put your actions against his actions. Put your proof against his proof. Because otherwise, you're just a hater arguing theories against a guy who's established himself and teaching his actual experiences. It's like I said, man, Mike has been putting some stuff out there. Like, he's been legit. He's been real. Like, I highly, highly respect the guy. He was bringing up something like the other day he was breaking down where his percentages are. Like, he broke everything down to 25%, 25%, 25%, like how he breaks down his company. Like, you know, 25% overhead, 25 on payroll, 25 profit, 25 this. And you got people down in the comment section talking about like, oh, 25% for tinters is like, it's way too cheap. You need to pay them 40%. Dude, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I tried that. You cannot scale if you have a tint shop, you cannot scale, and you want to grow. You cannot scale paying a tinter 40%, because 40% doesn't even account for everything else. It doesn't account for your accountant, doesn't account for your office admins, doesn't account for like anything else. It's like, dude, 40% on that there's no way that you can scale it, because I tried it. Like, I've tried it. You cannot do it. As you get bigger, and this is the one thing like I started to realize, because like I come from obviously being like a one-person shop. When your overhead is low and you're the only one working, things are different. Like, they're just different. When you have a company, you have a team, like, things change. You cannot operate a company the same way that you operate a one-man shop. It doesn't work. You got to change things along the way. There has to be enough. Like, for example, when you have a company, or when you start a shop, or you start any company, you're the only installer. Well, it's like, well, then you're the only installer, but you don't. What a lot of people don't realize is that you are wearing like 10 different hats at one time, right? So, when you're the installer and you're a one-man shop, you're doing your own marketing, you're doing your own sales, you're doing your own installations, you're doing your own follow-ups, you're doing everything. It's hard to see that when you get big enough, all those jobs that you do become jobs that somebody else is going to do when you scale. So right now, whenever you say like, yeah, 40%, I could do that. You can't do 40% when you start scaling. Like, there's no way, because when you start improving your marketing, you improve your leads. When you improve your leads, you need more salespeople. When you need more salespeople, then you need more installers to pay your salespeople. When you have everything starts to blow up, your margins get smaller. Now, then why do you want to scale if your margins get smaller? Because as Mike Norrick says, 50% of 25% of a watermelon is still bigger than 50% of a grape. That's the difference.
I tell you what, when I saw that little sentence that he said, it literally opened your mind to really think about that. 25% of a watermelon versus 25% of a grape.
No. 25% of a watermelon versus 50% of a grape.
Oh, 50% of the grape. Yeah. However, yeah. When I read that, I was just like, wow. I mean, you talk about, it really opened your mind and really makes you think, going, yeah, that's you really got to start figuring things out.
Dude, I struggled with this like for a long time, because again, remember when I said earlier, like every level has its own unique set of problems. And in our previous shop, I was dealing with, like, I had really low overhead in terms of my rent payment and my utilities. So I was able to pay out more to the installers, but then like as we started to grow, I realized, hey, like you can't have just one office admin. Like you got to have more of those. And I'm like, well, damn, I'm already paying out like X amount of, like, a percentage to the installers. How much more could the company actually afford? Like at this point, the more we grow at this rate, we're growing ourselves out of business, because again, your margins get smaller as you grow. And so I was like, I hit that ceiling of, if you want to pay out, like, if you want to split up your revenues this way, this is as far as you're gonna get. Because anything above that becomes a diminishing return, and then it's like you're not making any money at that point. The company's not making money. You're overworking yourself, and you're not making anything. So I was struggling with, like, well, then I wanted to create something that was productive and beneficial both to the installer and to the company, so that the company can grow. Because when you grow, you need profits. You need to fund that growth with something. You need money. You need profits to fund that growth. And I'm like, well, I wanted to grow the company, but I also wanted to, like, create a comfortable lifestyle for my installers and the people working here, because to me, that means more to me than having a big shop. And I mean, you know me, dude, I don't give a damn about having fancy lavish stuff. Like, I'm very minimalistic. I care more about the quality experience of the human being, whether it's from the customer all the way down to the installer. So, you know, everything has its own unique set of problems. And, like, again, dude, it was about finding that. And I kept trying to think, I'm like, okay, well, what makes sense? Like, I don't know. It's like, I wouldn't say the numbers is my strength. I'm working on it now, by the way, but it wasn't my strength, because again, it's a unique, now it's a new set of problems. You want to go from here to here? Well, there's all these little problems that you got to figure out along the way. And if you don't figure them out, you're going to stay there. Once you figure them out, then it's like everything is a step. So what's my next step? My next step is to figure out something that is going to work for the company and the employees. And I spent like weeks, months, like obsessing over this. And then Mike put that out. Like, I had kind of had an idea of where I think, like, certain things should be. Mike put that out there, and it was a confirmation of that, of like, okay, cool. So like that makes a lot of sense now, because now you have like revenues to grow. And Mike, the other day, for example, Mike also made a post about cash flow. So cash flow was about basically like, hey, you got cash flow to fund your growth. And so one of the things that as I scaled and I got bigger, I was always a money saver, like always since the beginning. It's something my mom taught me from very early age, like save your money, save your money, save your money. So I was used to seeing a savings account go up. Well, when I started to scale and I started to grow, like, and I hit this real big growth spurt since last year to this year, I was realizing that, hey, that account is not growing. In fact, it's kind of, and I'm opening myself up here, but it's kind of getting smaller. No, and I'm like, dude, you're doing. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on.
Keep going.
I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. How is it that we're generating more revenue, but it looks like we're losing money? That doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm like, and so again, dude, a new set of problems. When you want to grow, it's a new set of problems. So like, why is it that we're generating more but we're making less? And it's just like week after week, month after month. And really what it was is that it's growing into flat glass again. It's a new growth, new set of problems. What did I want to do is like I wanted to have a presentable presentation. If I wanted to compete and get customers, I knew it. I'm like, okay, I don't have so much the experience, but I at least want to look like we do. And so I wanted to get a van. I wanted to get it like wrapped. I wanted to buy folders. I wanted to buy all this sort of stuff, fluff it all up. Boom, like one initial shot. Like, no, I am not gonna wait months to do XYZ. I need XYZ done now so we hit the ground running by the time summer hits. And I'm not sitting here worried about like, damn, we really need a van. I need to go look for this van. And like, no, none of that. So I completely funded that growth. And then right after that, we moved into this new location. And again, it's like a new location, no excuse for this location to look anything subpar. So boom, let's spend the revenues to put everything. Anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is cash flow is how everything has been getting funded. And if anybody's going to grow, just know like it's going to take money to grow. You can either borrow it to pay for it and then you pay it back, or you can just fund it, get it over with, but now you're hitting the ground running. Yeah, that's the post right there.
Yeah, I was trying to find it from Mike Norg himself, but I couldn't find it. But I found the one where because I typed it in real quick, but I found the one you basically like copy and pasted it. But if anybody wanted to see this is exactly what he's talking about. The 25% for overhead, 25% for inventory, 25% for labor, and 25% profit. So it's a great formula, and this is exactly what Carlos was talking about from Mike Norg.
Yeah, like somebody had left a comment in it saying like, oh, so if you have $1 million, revenue generating company, you only profit 250K. Like they were talking bad about it, and Mike was a person that I remember saying that once you get past $1 million a year, like your margins just shrink. I don't know why I haven't gotten there myself to tell you like, okay, I know exactly what he's talking about, but I could see more or less, I kind of see the clearer picture than when I first heard about it now. Like I could see that, but still, I mean, 250 grand off of $1 million company is 25% profit is not, it's not bad. You get what I mean? Like it's not bad.
Right. Yeah. It's not
but
bad.
Again,
no.
But again, like one person, one man shops with that one man shop mentality, looking at those numbers would think this is terrible. Like I make 80% on my jobs, and I'm like, yeah. And you go around doing everything, and without you, there is no company. Your company's worth zero without you.
Yeah.
By the way, which is another topic right there. Not to open. What is your company worth? Because I'm telling you, dude, like this guy doesn't listen to me, so I don't care to say this. But there's a guy here in Houston that has a flat glass company that I talk to on a regular basis, and he started that company to sell it. And originally, like this is before. What makes a company worth money is the systems and processes and procedures put in place, policies put in place. A company is worth more if it's like in a box. And you buy this company as an investor. An investor doesn't invest in a company to get a job. Like an investor would invest in a company to make money, right? And I don't go and buy a McDonald's so that I can go flip burgers in the back. I buy a McDonald's because it's already a system that's been built. You know what I mean? So,
okay,
a company like no matter what, even if you don't want to sell it, you always got to put your company and your shop together as if you were going to sell it. And if you do want to sell it, you got to have procedures, policies, standard operating procedures, policies, systems in place. And what those systems are, because again, this is something that I had heard about like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I didn't know. I'm like, I knew you needed systems. Like, what the hell is a system? Like, what the hell is that? And then people say it's just a way of doing things. And I'm like, okay, what do you mean? Like, it's a way of doing things. Like, okay, like I have a way of doing things, but I don't get it. But just the system is a way of doing things and a way of operating. So TintWiz, for example, is a system that a shop can use. Now you can have systems within that system, but having a system for how you do things alleviates the owner from having to micromanage every single thing along the way. Because when you're new, not when you're new, but when you're doing everything on your own, well, I trust me, dude. I heard people say this, and I was there myself too. I can't hire somebody because they're not going to answer the phones like I would answer the phones, or they're not going to tint the cars like I would tint the cars, and I need to control everything. And I'm like, well, that control, like you can want to control everything, is what keeps your company worthless and what keeps your company back. Period.
Yep.
Relinquish control, document your procedures, be open-minded, and build your company as if you were wanting to sell it. And if you, again, if you have if you try to think of what your shop is worth, if I took you out of that shop and nothing gets done, I'm sorry to tell you, but it ain't worth that much, because you're the one that's worth it. But if you're selling a company, you're selling a company because you want to get away from it. But you're separating yourself from what makes that company successful.
How old are you, Carlos?
30.
I think you'll be. I'm thinking right along with Derek on this. I think you'll be able to retire within the next 10 years, dude.
What do you mean? Where did Eric say that?
No, Derek. He said that
Oh.
you are setting yourself up for retirement at 45.
Oh, well, thanks.
And honestly, the rate you're going, the way you're building, not only you, but the company as a whole. Dude, I can see you retiring and selling out and going and being done. I could see it. Now, whether or not you're going to do it or not, I don't know, because I know you like the industry, but I don't know. We'll see. Only time will tell on that one.
Yeah, like there's well, for one, look, thank you for Derek for saying that, for any of you guys for saying that, but dude, I try to remain humble as best as I can, because it's in my best interests to remain humble, because I don't know everything. Regardless of whatever I've been able to do, I'm always a student of the game, always. Because hey, 2 + 2 = 4. Guess what? So does 3 + 1. There's no one way to succeed. There's multiple different ways to succeed, and it's in your best interest to learn and treat everything in this life like a buffet of wisdom and knowledge. Everything has something to teach you, or sometimes things that, like, it either teaches you what to do or what not to do. So the more you can learn from things, the better off you're going to be. And I feel like the more you learn things, the more valuable you become to people in the future whenever you're in a leadership position. So I don't know, dude. Like I'm gonna say,
you said all that perfectly. You really did, dude. I mean, you're spot on with everything you're doing and everything you're saying. You're spot on. You really are.
Yeah. And I don't know, dude. I just like I just want to look back at the end of my life and be proud of what I've built, and know that I left this world better than when I came into it, and I was that change that I wanted to see. Like, and I made great friends and great memories. And that, like the other thing too, like, why is it important to have systems in place? Like, I would say probably within the last year and a half, like, I felt like I've lost a lot of my personal life experiences because I've been obsessing with growing a company. And you got to be careful with that too, because at the end of the day, it's at the end of your life, it's the relationships and memories that you build with people. That's what you end up remembering, not so much that, like, yeah, I clocked in at 9, I clocked in at 4 a.m. and I clocked out at midnight. That's cool, and sometimes it's necessary depending on where you want to go, but you got to make time for the stuff outside of it too, because I don't know, man. Like, you got to feed that inside of whatever it is, the spirit, your soul. You got to nourish it. And sometimes, like, doing what you do, it's great for other people, but you also got to take care of yourself too. And that's something that I've had to kind of remind myself these last couple of weeks, especially these last couple of days, to think like, hey, there's, you want to go somewhere, you got to walk to it, you got to work to get there, but at the same time, it's a sacrifice. You got to make choices, But
speaking of taking care of yourself, when are you coming out to Colorado? You don't have to tell everybody. I was just making your mind think a little bit.
No, because
Well, I know
it's like
we've been talking about this for like the last couple of weeks that
I
you want
know,
to take some
dude,
time
right?
off, come out to Colorado and everything, and I've got a whole weekend completely planned. I'm just waiting on you and Carla. So
I know, like so I've in the next very shortly. It's a little tricky, man, because like I said, when you're going through growing phases and you're hitting these growth spurts, and it's the reality. It's like, for example, if you're in your shop and your everyday life, and then I went up to you and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna quintuple your leads. Can you handle it?" Most people are gonna tell you like no, no. I say like probably 98% of people it's like no, I can't handle getting 5 times the leads. So when that happens, you have a choice. Do we either we got a ton of leads? Do we step aside and let them through and just like whatever, not for us, or do we step up and take that as a challenge to grow ourselves into the next phase? And so when you're in that growth process, it's a little hard to kind of put the car in park and be like, "Hey, I'll be back. I'm gonna go take a little piss break." You know what I mean? But when you ask me that question, though, it's one of those like, damn, you're making me realize I procrastinated on that conversation about going to Colorado, and I'm like, yeah, I should really set aside some time to do that because
but
everybody's got.
Carlos,
It's not a I don't
I
have time. Everybody's got time. It's just you don't make the time. So I'm like, but I really want to go because I should go. But yeah, I'm gonna go, dude.
let's just be honest. I mean, you've got a lot going on. You really do. And I don't knock you one bit for not getting back with me or anything like that. That's not how our friendship has ever been to begin with, and it never will be that way. I just like calling you out because I like to give you shit for it because I'm like still waiting, still waiting, still
Yeah.
waiting, still waiting. But that's all right. There's no rush. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. Colorado's not going anywhere. So whenever you guys are ready, you just give me the go ahead and I will have the whole weekend planned. So I've already got it lined out. I just got to get it all like set in place. So
Yeah,
no big
yeah.
deal. We'll have a good time. It'll be relaxing. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you do come out, no TikTok videos. Come out and actually like relax and enjoy your time. Don't be working, man. Don't do it.
No, I think that I don't know. Like dude, it's just one of those like when you get so obsessive about like certain things when it comes to work. Colorado has been something that I used to do all the time. Like 2 or 3 times a year, I would go visit. Spend time in the mountains and all this stuff aside, dude. Like all this stuff aside, I love spending time in the mountains, out in nature. I love hiking. I love smelling fresh air, pine fresh air, clean water. You can just grab and take a sip. Like I love the outdoors. I love nature, and it's been some time that I felt like I've connected with nature. And I mean like about a year and probably going on 2 years now. No, 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 more than that.
Well,
Uh,
regardless, we're gonna make it. We're
four
gonna make
years.
it happen. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, 4 years. Oh my God. I'm the August of 2018 was when we shot the first episode. Whenever I did that podcast with you, that was the last time I really, really felt like I was out there and stuff. So yeah, going on 4 years. No wonder. No wonder I feel
Yeah,
like something's been missing.
it's time to come back, and it's time to actually enjoy some downtime, and have a couple of drinks with me, and just hang out and not do TikToks. Let's not do that when you come out here. Maybe make some stupid TikToks, but no work TikToks.
Nah, dude,
Deal?
no work TikToks. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
all
down
right.
for some stupid TikToks. I'm
All
down for
right.
some bougie Tinder TikToks.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So real quick, because I'm coming up on the holy cow 2 hour mark here. Uh, let's just bring this back up real quick, just to kind of
How many people
give
are still
everybody.
watching? By the way, we're going on 2 hours and
Well,
people are like,
I know. See, so here's the thing: the viewers are dropping, the time's rising. It's time to close. Um, so right here, I've got your TikTok. So if anybody watching or ends up watching this episode later on, Feel free to give Carlos the Texas Squeegee a follow on TikTok. This is his TikTok page right here. And I just wanted to bring this up right here. 14.4 million views on this one video. It's absolutely amazing. And I think the video clip is only about 7 seconds. So
Yeah.
hats off to that video. It's absolutely unreal. He's got a lot of good content out here. So if you guys want to give him a follow on TikTok, please do. Also, if anybody who is not a tinter and comes across this and is in the Houston area and wants to get their windows tinted or possibly their house to get a quote or anything like that, you can also go to TexasTintMasters.com, which is his website right here. And it's got his address. Is your address updated?
Yeah, I gotta go back
All
in
right,
there and update the website. We have a lot more content that I haven't posted up on there, but yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you got a lot of catching up to do. But you can catch all of his stuff right here, TexasTintMasters.com. Which is, dude, I'm on here and I don't even know why, but
Hey,
I'm
we
right
look
here.
bougie. What do you mean?
I tell you what, I'll be honest. I think this is one of the favorite pictures of me and you because we're both kind of doing our like signature, quote unquote, signature pose that we do all the time. It's one of my favorite ones. But like I said, anybody watching interested in automotive, commercial, or residential, please give them a call. You guys can actually request a quote also right here from the top. So there you go. You're also taking messages and stuff from TikTok, I believe, right? I mean, are you not taking messages from TikTok also?
What do you mean?
Are people messaging you on TikTok for like quotes, or is it strictly through leads?
Yeah, so what they 99.991000% of them they click the link that I have in my bio, which is the link to my residential and commercial tinting page, and then from there it goes through the lead form that TintWiz provides, or that I made on TintWiz. And so
Gotcha.
Which, by the way, I did want to say something to you, Mr. Tint Dude 3. You said something last week. Even if you're a one-man person, like TintWiz is for everybody. It doesn't matter you're one person or 10 people or 100 people. Like, it's every I've said it all the time, dude. You'll have to buy an extra watch and get another a separate bank account for all the money and time you're going to be saving using the TintWiz app. Squeegee that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I definitely plan on doing stuff. Trust me,
dude. But no,
anyway.
my God, I'm telling you, I'm telling you straight up, 100% as a real world user. Had it not been for TintWiz, there's no way in hell we would have been able to grow this fast without a system like that. And I'm still figuring it out. But honestly, it is like a freaking cheat code. Let me give you a quick snippet. I went to you've seen me in flat glass consults, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why it took me this long to figure it out, but when you take a picture, you can create tags for them. So for example, if I go do a flat glass job and it's dark neutral, I could take a picture and I could add a tag as dark neutral 15. And every single time, whether I'm giving a quote or I'm uploading something, I can go to the archived files, I type in dark neutral, and every picture that I tagged with that comes up, right? I started doing this 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so technically every job that we do, if we get a picture of it, I tag it and it saves as an archive. So every consult, flat glass, every consult I go to, if they're wanting evening view 25 or a dark neutral film, I search for those tags, they all come up, I add them into their proposal, boom, they have a ton of pictures of that product. And so anyways, a couple of days ago, I was on this consult, and I went there like I normally do. I ask my questions, whatever. We go through it. I measure everything out. I draft up their proposal. I pull out the iPad, because I use an iPad now. So I pull out the iPad and I'm going through the proposal system, and I gave him two different options, like dark neutral and then an evening view film. And so I'm showing him all of these pictures of how it looks like from the inside, the outside, their processes, our procedures, how to take care of your film, everything. And so I handed it over to him, and they're like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, well, appreciate it. We're going to think about it or whatever. And then they go, by the way, you're the second person that's come out here, and we like you a lot better. And when they said that, they pointed over to these samples. There was by a table. And so I was like, what? So I look over these samples, and it's Avery Dennison. And I'm like, there's only one guy that I know who uses Avery Dennison, which is a buddy of mine who I told this guy everything. He's been doing flat glass for 2 years. I told him everything he should be doing. Get a transit, rapid, use TintWiz, like get some procedures, put your sales scripts together. Everything that I told this guy that he said, nah, it's too expensive. I don't want to invest back into it. I'm like, and here we are. And that's what he left him with. And this customer is holding a branded, here. This customer is holding a branded folder that matches the shirt, that matches my van, that matches my backpack, and all the other person left with them was a couple of like just sample, like a sheet of sample. And I'm like, and it reminds me of what Eric said, first mover's advantage. Who do you think the customer is willing to pay more for?
I think they're going to go probably with you versus them.
It's not like I have any additional access to resources. It's just like, hey, there was a thing on the table, and like, did you do something with it or not? And it's like, if you did it, then don't complain that you didn't get the return on something you never invested in, you know?
That's absolutely true.
So again, anybody who's on the fence about using TintWiz, like, do it. You're kind of a little bit late in the game because we're hitting summer, and like to me, and Eric might disagree with, there's never a bad time to sign up for TintWiz. Never. But there is a prime time to make changes in your company, and that is when it's in a slow season. Because whenever you hit busy season, you don't want to think about your structure. You don't want to think about your processes. You want to have that done. Summertime is time to make money. Summertime is time to produce. Get in wintertime, slow season, you work out your tweak. You work out your little flaws and your little whatever, you tweak stuff. Summertime, you take the training wheels off and it's go. So again, hey, we're still in the beginning of summer. If you haven't signed on with TintWiz, just give it a shot, man. Like, there's so many people out here that can help you. Jordan, Haas, Cody Becker, myself. TintWiz has a live chat support. Like, use it. Like, there's no excuse why you should not be having a conversation with me, telling me in a couple months from now, damn, Texas Squeegee, you were right. I got a couple extra watches, and like my bank account is flowing with so much extra money that I'm saving that I had to go get a separate one because the amount of truckloads was costing too much to put all this money in there.
You always put it in very well perspective. You do.
I'm just saying, dude, like,
no, hey,
because I tried using TintWiz the first time, and I was like, this is too much, and I stopped. And then I was like, dude, you're an idiot. Like, you didn't really give it an opportunity. Like, you cannot say you made an educated decision by rejecting it, because you made a decision based on a lack of knowledge and not really trying something. So then I was like, well, let me give it an actual shot. And so I spent the time learning. I'm like, hey, don't go home and get on social media. Don't go home and get on Netflix. Go home, TintWiz, and chill. I swear to God. Like Liz said it the other day.
TintWiz and chill.
Bro.
Liz just mentioned that. Was that today or yesterday?
That was like yesterday. But I was like, oh my God.
TintWiz and chill.
It's like the best way. I swear to God, it's the way that I learned it, honestly, because like I said, I didn't want to. You cannot sit in front of a customer and trying to learn the app at the same time trying to take care of the customer and tint a car. Like, you got to spend time outside your business hours to get on the app, and then just start with the freaking basics. Like, how do I put a customer's name? How do I add a customer? Start with that. Boom, you get that done. What's on my next to-do list? How do I add in a vehicle? Get that done. Boom, what's next? How do I sign a customer out? How do I create an invoice? Boom, get that done. How do I send out a proposal? Boom, get that done. Like, everything. You layer. Next thing you know, again, you're starting a third bank account because, dude, holy crap! Like I maxed out my first one because TintWiz is making me so much money. By the way, it's also saving me money because I no longer have to use an app that I don't have to pay for an app so that I put in a customer's info and then it automatically sends them review requests, follow-ups, all that stuff. Get rid of that crap. Just use one app, TintWiz. Integrate TintWiz into your operation. I'm saying it not because TintWiz is paying me zero to say it. I'm saying this because this has made such a tremendous.
I was just going to ask you, how much did Eric pay you to make it that whole?
Nothing, dude. No, like I'm
totally
saying this
joking.
because
I know you're not.
It's made such a positive impact in my personal life and my company and everybody working here. It's made such a positive impact that I'm like, oh my God, where was this 3 years ago? Like,
And
3 years ago, where was this 3 years ago?
And not only that, but I mean, how many times have I been down in your area at your shop, and I've seen you use it, I've seen Carla use it, I've seen your installers, they're pulling out their phone, checking, seeing, hey, this is what car's coming in next, and this and that, and it's really neat to actually watch an actual shop, and everybody there is utilizing that app, and everybody's running it together, and I'm like, this is the app of all app for our industry. Absolutely.
Dude, there's nothing that comes close to it. Nothing that comes close to it. There are other apps that are industry related, but they don't touch TintWiz because like TintWiz is constantly improving and making things better. And the other day, I was outside the shop and I had just pulled up after like a consult on my van or something like that. And I pulled up and I see one of my installers, Pete, and he was outside taking pictures of the vehicles. And then, like he brings it in. Carla comes outside and she was like, hey, that customer that was there, they actually own a business and they were impressed with how we took everything in, like taking pictures and uploading and documenting everything. And then it got me, I kind of took a step back and I was like, damn, from the flea market days of doing everything on paper to now coming over here and having a system where you can literally document every damage on the vehicle that protects your ass in case a customer wants to blame you for something. Like we've put in all these policies and procedures in place to where everything literally is documented so that if there's a screw up somewhere, if the company did it, then we have to pay for it. But not often. Everybody who's been in this long enough has always had that one customer that blamed you for something that you didn't do. And you think to yourself, damn it, if I could go back and take a picture, I would have saved myself. Well, guess what? Now you can. And it's not stored in your phone. It's stored in a cloud called TintWiz. It's stored in a cloud up there. The other thing that's cool about it is because we've saved ourselves from a few times getting blamed for stuff that we didn't do. But since we documented it on TintWiz, it saved us because you just show it to the customer and say, hey, look at the timestamp. We checked you in at like 2 p.m., 2:03 p.m. We documented this damage right here during our regular walk around of the vehicle. And not only that, dude, but every time we interact with a customer, we always write that in, if it's Carla having that conversation and then I take over, I know exactly what they talked about before because every conversation gets summarized in the app under that customer's account. I said it the other day. It's what you would expect if you had Comcast come into your home, and like they know what's going on. The technician knows what's going on. Like you've never spoken to this person, but he knows what problems you're having. He knows why he's there. He's there. You can see him checking stuff into this iPad or whatever. You don't know what he's doing. It's just Comcast is this big, giant corporation. They've got systems and procedures in place. And so the other day when I saw it, where we were kind of like, damn, okay, now we got a system. Like this is pretty damn cool. Like we got a system. And I don't like, I just feel like it's made such a difference, which is why I'm passionate when I talk about TintWiz.
Sure. And not only that, but TintWiz, it gets better and better because they're always improving the app, adding more features, and everything with that, along with all the tech support, the Facebook groups and everything like that. You can get everything at one stop. You can get, people to help you set it up, how to use it. And then every time a new feature comes out, it's always posted. It's always out there for everybody. And trust me, I'm not getting on there eventually, but yes.
I mean, a little bit. Eric likes to be the person that makes changes and a lot of times he doesn't say anything. The bastard.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's been I think that I can recall. I know for one that there was a change, but no one knew about it until someone started messing with it and was like, "Oh, did anybody know it did this?"
Yeah, I
that's
know.
one,
Like, so
right? But I
the
mean, that happens. But I mean, come on, man. It's Eric. He can do whatever he wants.
no, but you know what's cool about it is it's like it's a lot of times it's these like neat little surprises where you go into the app and you're like, oh, that's new. You know, like
Yeah.
he added a vehicle ready button. And what that does is whenever your vehicle is done and you check it out, there's a button that you click on that says vehicle ready. It automatically sends a text message to the customer. And we love it because that eliminated a few tasks off of the admin because back then we would sign the customer out, like, you know, we would check it out on the app, like, okay, we're done, we click checkout, which closes, like, okay, this is our timestamp where we're done,
And
give the
done.
keys
Yeah.
back to the admin. They still have to call a customer, contact them, letting them know, hey, your vehicle is ready. Now the installer does that. Now the installer, as soon as you're done, bring it outside. Once you give it the go ahead, you hit the button and give her the keys, and that's it, it's done.
Done. Yep.
That's it, no
And that's
more,
where I
like, it's
come.
done.
That's where I come in and I go, this car is done. Done. We'll bring back the old Florida days when I used to say that. But
Done.
anyways, done. Well, Carlos,
Dude.
man, hey, thanks again for coming on. I mean, we're running at 2 hours, 8 minutes. I know you probably want to get home and everything because you're an hour behind right now. So you're usually sitting on the couch doing TikTok videos right now.
You know, like
No, let's not do that. No, go on. Okay, go ahead.
yeah.
No, go ahead. What?
No, I mean, I was gonna say that I'm quite excited about how it's gonna change now that I have a media guy handling. To be honest, I'm probably still gonna be doing content.
Well, we're all going to be watching, and we're all going to notice it probably pretty soon. Sooner than later, we're all going to start seeing it. Going, yeah, this is Carlos's new person. We can tell. You know,
Yeah.
you have your own. You have your own way of putting out content. So seeing someone else do it, we're probably going to see that change. And I don't think it's going to be. I don't think we're also going to sit back and go, "Oh, it's not Carlos. I'm not going to pay attention." I don't think it's going to be that because what your expectations are, you're going to give it over to that person, and I think that person's going to handle it. So I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Yeah, that person needs direction and vision, and let them figure out. I mean, I always invite flair and your own flavor to things and bring in ideas and let's try something. Like, let's just try it, you know. But he's I feel good about him being here. I feel good about the what the future holds. And again, I don't want it to same thing like I said with Tinter brand. I don't want it to be a Carlos thing. I just want it to be a brand thing. It's not a me thing. Like,
A
it's
thing,
beyond
right?
me. It's bigger than me. It's you know, sure, like, it
Well, I'll tell
started stuff that I did, but
you, there's 16 people still in here listening to you.
damn, who is it, man? Like, okay, did you
I
take
know,
off the chat?
right?
Because I'm
Yeah.
not seeing it.
Oh no, yeah, I turned it off like really quick. But let's turn it back on. We got 16 people watching. We got to do at least one giveaway real quick, and I know
Hey,
you
we
came
should
up
do
with an
a
idea for a giveaway.
we
Right?
should do a
What?
truth or dare.
Truth or dare? Well, how are we going to know they did the dare?
They gotta dare me or you to do something.
Oh no, we're not doing truth or dare, man. This is no, that's not. No. Maybe on another episode we'll do truth or dare.
Hey,
But
on the real though, when are we doing the Tinter tours? I got a lot of traveling to do this year.
We gotta talk about that on another night. We gotta figure something out. We gotta start kind of planning stuff out. Like, really. Well, we also still need to plan the Cali trip through the Cali Bros. So we still gotta get that
screw them,
handled
dude.
also.
They're not even
No,
in.
you can't, dude. You can't do that, man. They won fair and square. They get the whole shebang. We got to go out there and do it. So, too bad, so sad. We're going to Fresno, California. It doesn't matter. Get over it.
Yeah, I know. I think that I don't know, man. I was kind of thinking like maybe it might be on the tail end of summer, and then we just hit them.
Just,
You know what I mean?
that's fine. Whatever,
I mean,
you wanna do.
what do we have to do
I
though?
just
Like,
need to know when you're coming here and when you want to do the California thing, so I can start working around those two trips.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
other than that, I mean, I kind of have to like keep going, and then when you say something's going to happen, then you got to line with me because I'm already scheduled out. So you got to figure that out.
Yeah, I
But
think
anyways, let's do
so.
a giveaway. Hey, let's do a giveaway. You actually came up with an idea of doing a triple deal with the Tinter Battles 2021, 2022, 2023. Merchandise. Is that right? Do you want to do a towel with each logo and do that, or do you want to do like a shirt with the where someone gets all three as a what do you want to do? Or do you want to do something different? Let's make it quick. Now there's 12 people watching.
What comes to, I don't know. What comes to mind is tumblers. I feel like it's not the tumbler.
You want to do a tumbler? I mean, tumbler you can use at any point of the year. I mean, those things are great for cold or hot drinks. You can use them anytime, and they're great displays too.
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason why I like using my tumblers.
Okay. All right, so what we're gonna do is Tintertainment is gonna do 3 tumblers, right?
Sam,
what's that?
Sam over here talking about like.
Oh, I guess you guys got a busy day tomorrow. I guess that's what Sam's referring to. All right, yeah, three tumblers. All 3 tumblers are going to be the whole background for Tinter Battles 2021, 2022, and 2023. Yeah, dude, it's getting late. I need to get you off here. So, see what I'm trying to get this done and over with.
You need to tell me to get the F off your show. Well, I guess no giveaway. See you guys. Screw that.
All right. No. All right, so let's do this. There's only 12 people in here. Let's give those 12 people, since they stuck around for all the BS and everything. Well, there's 12 people. I say I'm watching on Facebook, and the video is laggy. YouTube has no comments. Trust me, this thing got screwed up from the get-go again, and I don't know what's going on, but we're still going to run with it. Who cares? People are watching, and we'll get it figured out. This is all still new to me, and I'm not going to give up. So let's do this. 12 people. Carlos, you want to do it? You want to just pick a number between 1 and 12? Just make this quick and easy.
The first person that guesses a right infrared reading on a dual pane window on dark neutral 15. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know the answer, so I don't know.
Oh my god.
Let's pick it over between 1 and 12. All right. So you got something you can write a number down real quick, or
not really, but I got an idea.
Or better yet, why don't you just look at the comments and just pick someone?
I
just go, that person wins.
I texted you the number.
All right. So, all right, guys, this is what we're gonna do. Pick it over between 1 and 12. And if I see it on my screen, there you go. Tim C. Johnson got it first. It was number 7.
Yeah.
He was the first person right there. So Tim, he gets the whole what would you call that? The
collector's edition.
Collector's edition. That's what I was looking for. So Tim C. Johnson gets the collector's edition of the Tinter Battles tumblers, and I guess you can just get with Carlos and give him your info. So, Carlos, is there anything else you want to add before we get off here?
Tim, send me your address, and then I'll get that set up for you. Other than that, man, just a huge thank you to everyone that has done anything and everything and has made this industry and my experience with you guys just a positive. So a huge thank you. You guys know who you are, even if everybody who's been a positive influence and force. Big tintifying thank you from the Texas Squeegee.
All right, now get the fuck off my show.
That's got to be a shirt, dude. I don't know why you haven't made this a shirt.
I should be like, get the. Anyways, Carlos, hey, thanks for joining me tonight, and I will definitely talk to you next week because we definitely got to talk about a couple of things. So, other than that, see you later. Have a good day tomorrow, and I'll talk to you soon. Get out of here.
Yeah, dude. I got to exit on my end, right?
Yeah, get the hell out of here. I'm just
No.
gonna do this. Bye. All right, guys. So there is the show for this week. Gosh dang it. Listen. If I have to stay up late every single night till next week, I'll do it. I'm gonna get this thing fixed and the audio and everything. I promise. I don't know. I did runs this afternoon and even last week after the show last week, and I swear all the settings were where they needed to be, and I was like good to go. But apparently everything's still messed up. So I'm going to contact some of my friends. Hopefully, they will help me get this figured out and get it fixed where I'm not having these issues anymore, because I can't do this. I want absolute smooth shows from here on out, and I'm tired of the hiccups. So I apologize again, but that's all right. Thank you, Carlos, for coming in. Next week, what's next week? I believe I got Haas Evans in next week. He is the owner of Extreme Shades out in North Carolina. So he will be my guest. I know we're going to do some giveaways. I know he's got a couple of things up here that he wants to do. And he's still contemplating whether he's going to be tinting a car live during the show, or if he's just going to hang out and chill. So I don't know yet. It'll be just kind of a surprise. So on that note, you guys, thanks for joining in. I promise to get this thing fixed, because, oh my God, it's got to go smooth. And if it doesn't, I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to keep going. So on that note, thanks to everyone that was here. Thanks to Tint Wiz. Thanks to Carlos. You guys have a great rest of the week, and I will catch you guys here, same time, same place with Haas Evans. So on that note, we'll catch you guys later.